What's going on, guys? Another review here for you. This is of the CRKT Drifter, Columbia Knife and Tools. I'm sorry, Columbia River Knife and Tool, CRKT, the Drifter, and this is the stainless steel frame lock version. There is also a G10, a liner lock version that I hear is substantially lighter, and it's got a, I believe, a titanium nitride coating on the blade, so that's not, a very good coating. And so this is just a satin finish blade. This is a 2.875 inch blade, much smaller than I thought it was gonna be. When I bought this knife, I got this for dirt cheap, and it's already dirt cheap by itself. So I got even more dollars off in this when I bought this from this person on the forums. And I've been called well, somebody jokingly called me a knife snob when I reviewed the Kershaw RJ1, and maybe rightfully so. When you start owning some higher end knives and all that kind of stuff, I can't remember who just did a kind of a talk about this. Some guy that I'm subscribed to, but he's basically talking about, once you start tasting the higher end things, same idea. If you own a Ferrari, you're most likely you're not going to want to drive a Hyundai or even a Toyota or something like that, even though they're totally, great cars. They're nice cars. I drive a Toyota, but I've tasted the higher end knives, and so I have this. I just like having higher end knives. Anyway, all that being said, the Drifter surprised me a lot, because I feel like this is a really good knife, and it's a very comfortable knife. It's a very aesthetically pleasing knife, and it's a very solid knife. It's stainless steel versus titanium. If I were to show this video to a total knife noob, like they had no idea anything about knives, they had no idea about brands, in fact they would see CRKT and they would see, Chris Reeve knives, CRK, and they would think they were the same thing. That's what I thought before. I thought CRKT, and there actually was a CRKT Sebenza that Chris Reeve, or that CRKT, I guess got the permission of Chris Reeve to use his design of the Sebenza, on their knives, and they're discontinued and all that kind of stuff. And I heard they weren't that great, but they totally looked like a Sebenza with black G10 and liners and all that kind of stuff. But again, if I were to tell you, look at these knives and look at the, there's no marking on the steels and all that kind of stuff, they wouldn't know, which one is necessarily the higher end one. Okay, it's after you use them, after you've sharpened them, after you've been able to test out edge retention and quality and see if, blade play and all that kind of stuff, or just by studying, knives in general. So I've been studying knives for the past year and a couple of months now. So now I do know quality, now I do know brands and all that kind of stuff. All that being said, when I got this Drifter, I saw it before on some videos or whatever, and I was like, oh, whatever, CRKT, it's a piece of junk. But again, this one came up for dirt cheap, and I was like, oh, this one, another one that I can use in my future giveaway video, which I keep saying is coming up, and I'm going to do it. Yeah, I opened it up and I was like, wow, this is a solid knife. This has HCR 14 MOV, so a little bit different than the 13 MOV. I believe the 13 signifying that it's got a little bit more chromium, either chromium or molybdenum, I'm not sure. So one of those two elements in the steel properties. But it is a stainless steel. It's a China-made steel. All those HCR steels are China-made steels. But you know, I mean, listen to this detent. It's a solid detent, you know. Listen to the lockup. It's a solid lockup. A little bit of blade play, but that's because I haven't, you know, played with the screw a little bit. Slightly off-centered. Again, you know, maybe it's because the screw is not all the way in. In fact, I can see if I can adjust that right now. If I can open this up here. Okay, so just the standard T8 Torx. Yeah, that's pretty tight already. So anyway, yeah, so I mean, there's a very slight amount of blade play. Nothing like the RJ1, you know. And for the average going price of 22, 23 bucks, I got this for 12 bucks. You know, that's pretty good. It's a frame lock construction. It's stainless steel, so it is heavier. Okay, this weighs in supposedly at 3.2 ounces. It's a very compact package, and so it feels very dense, you know. And stainless steel, you know, by nature is much more dense, or not dense, but heavier than titanium. So compared to this Martin here, that's even a more compact package. It feels light. You know, this Martin here is full. You can see the difference in thickness here. You know, this Martin Small Tejas is 0.125 slabs of titanium, as well as blade, you know. And this package is really light. I mean, you'd be surprised when you hold a slab of titanium versus a slab of stainless steel, you know, how much weight difference there really is. Even in pocket clips, you can totally feel a difference. You're talking about a feather versus like, oh, this actually has some heft. So anyway, so sub 3-inch blade, frame lock, lockup solid, phosphor bronze bushings, you know, lanyard hole, full, you know, screw hex, I'm sorry, Torx screw construction, you know, nice pivot, all that kind of stuff. Nice, it's just nice blade shape. Again, aesthetically, this knife is actually very pleasing to the eye. See any similarities? Maybe not. You know, it's slightly more rounded and all that kind of stuff. It's got the gentle recurve on the blade there. You know, it's got its markings and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I really prefer sterile blades, but whatever, it's totally fine. They got to market their stuff, but you know, so you got the drifter here, CRKT here, but handles all sterile. I want to say it's bead blasted, maybe. It's not sand blasted. I think it's bead blasted, so it's got this kind of shine to it as well. Only knock really is, you know, only pocket or tip down pocket carry. So slight little knock on it, not a huge deal. Actually, I plan on just taking this clip off. Actually, to be honest, I don't really plan on carrying this at all. But it's a really cool knife, you know. And again, the reason I don't plan on carrying is because I do want to give this one away. And I think it's a great knife to give away, to be honest. So anyway, so against these other knives here, just a quick size comparison. The smallest Benza actually is slightly larger. I should put this one in the middle to compare it. Martin Small Tejas a 2.25 inch blade, I think. Yeah. You know, is obviously going to be a smaller package. But again, you know, you're talking about full-on custom knife with premium materials, S30V, full, you know, 6AL, 4V titanium, and all that kind of stuff. Large Sebenza obviously is going to dwarf this knife in terms of size. I never get a chance to pull out this Spyderco Sprint Lum Tanto because I've always been wanting to sell this knife and get rid of it because I never carry it. It's a Sprint, it's brand new, and I have all these other knives that I always carry and stuff like that. So this one always just sits in the box, but yeah, I thought I'd just bring it out today, kind of just to show you guys a comparison, because I think a lot of you guys are probably familiar with this knife too. So again, you know, this CRKT as a EDC knife, I think is totally fine. Same, well, you know, this one actually feels pretty good in hand. It does roll in your hand a little bit, but this pocket clip helps that. You know, it sticks out a lot, you know, so you get this large hump in the pocket clip here, so it allows for, in this case, a better grip on this knife. And I think it's almost necessary to have this pocket clip here for, you know, deployment and all that kind of stuff, so your fingers have you know, somewhere to grab onto when deploying it. Otherwise, it's a very, very thin package, you know, compared to Sebenza here. You know, you just, you know, very thin, tiny slabs of stainless steel, but yet because it's stainless steel, it's hefty. It's a hefty knife at 3.2 inches or ounces. So I think you'd be surprised. Again, I think the G10 version is like a total feather versus this one. All right, so that's a relatively quick review of the CRKT Drifter. A fine knife, you know, for anywhere between $10 to $20. I think it's one that, you know, if you want a beater knife, one that you can carry all over the place and not have to worry about size and limitations and all that kind of stuff, this is actually a really cool option. If you're not a, you know, big high-end custom collector or anything like that, definitely one to have in your collection. All right, so thanks guys for watching, and let me know what you guys think of the Drifter down below, and I'll see you guys on the next vid. Take care. Bye.